Hi, I'm Shanmukh, creator of Trisynapse, an offline digital brain for structured learning. Everyone constantly learns something new. It could be personal, professional. We tend to find and learn a lot of things every day. The more deep you go into a particular topic, the more resources you find, and these resources grows exponentially time to time. It's very difficult for a normal human being to grasp all this information within a limited span of time. With today's AI, navigating through this much amount of information shouldn't be this hard. That's what our mission is, making learning seamless with the help of AI. Inspired by trisynaptic circuit, a procedure that happens in hippocampus part of brain, which is responsible for memory processing, acquisition, retrieval, and filtering. With Trisynapse, it's very easy. You add sources and we take care of the rest. We summarize each source and compile them into structured wikis. You can talk to wiki, you can listen to wiki, you can write, read, update the wikis. Instead of you finding new sources, we will help monitor online like Google, Archive, Twitter, and Reddit, YouTube, and so on, and suggest new sources that could fit into whatever you are learning. You can visualize your knowledge base. You can even find hidden connections that you have never thought of between topics or sources. Everything is saved locally, focusing on security and privacy, and all the data is stored in a human-readable format like Markdown, JSON, and text files. When you install the app, you will see a page like this. It is a simple onboarding page where you can see the overview of how Trisynapse works. So you ingest sources, it will summarize the sources, compile them to wiki. You can interact with wiki with different types of interactions, and the wiki will grow as you learn new sources through automatic monitoring. And you can set which folder you want to have as your vault. And in the vault, you can see this as a folder structure. Each topic is put into separate folder. All the chat history, browser history, canvas, assistant, all the history is saved separately, helping user to navigate through the vault easily. Once you set your vault, you can give whatever AI provider that you generally use. We cover Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, DeepSeek, OpenRouter, and DeepInfra. Even for monitoring, we use Twitter for Twitter API and Tavily for Google search. You can even add them later on if you don't have now. And that's it. Once you add those, you can see this is the high-level overview. You can create a topic, add sources, summarize, compile them to wiki, and chat and explore the Trisynapse. You can go to help and guide, where you can see quick tour of the app and the overview. In the feature guide, you can see clear description and details of how to use the app. We split all of them into different areas like knowledge, manage, interact, ingest data, helping user to understand how to use the app easily. You can use shortcuts. Whenever you feel like something is not working, you can diagnose and see which API key is having some problem. You can even give feedback or talk to us based on whatever you want to talk to, like features, questions, bugs, and even some feedback. When you open the app, you'll see a page like this, and you can create new topic. You can give your name, icon, color. Once you create a topic, you can add a number of resources. For example, here I can add a source from anything like blog, social media like Twitter, Reddit, document like archive or PDFs or documents, YouTube video, GitHub repository, even images or audio, and even personal notes, which can handle text, markdown files. Once you add the sources, you can summarize them into a quick overview of the particular source. When you click summarize now, you'll see three parts of the summary. One is auto-generated tags, which helps you to filter out based on these tags. And in the summary, you can see the overview of particular source, covering all the major concepts. And key concepts are being generated, which are used for creating memories. You can even give feedback if you think something is wrong. And whenever the AI is doing summarization, it will remember that and it will follow your instructions. And you can even consolidate all of the sources into Wikipedia pages. Here in consolidation, you can even give custom instructions, asking it to create multiple wikis, multiple folders. When you go to wiki, you'll see a homepage like this, where you can see a quick summary of the topic that you have been learning so far. And you have different types of views. For example, you can filter by source, and you can even see the timeline. You can even filter by concepts. And you can even add a particular wiki as a favorite. You can rename, and you can even copy the link to go to the vault. When you go to a particular wiki, first you can see what are the sources that are being used to compile, and you can listen to wiki. You can even refresh or recompile. If you want to export, you can even export it to learn later on. Here also you have a feedback option. You can write your notes in a simple markdown format. You can even talk to wiki. Here you can ask wiki to update or even learn about the particular wiki. In the side panel, you can see what are the related articles, which wikis are being linked here, and which wikis are using this particular wiki as a link. For example, this wiki is referenced in LLM training process and Qwen3 family wikis. And in the memory, you can see a quick view of entire knowledge base. For example, here I have mainly 5 sources, and for each source, you can see the connection of key concepts. And for example, the reinforcement learning concept is connected to this source, and you can quickly see what is the source, and you can go through it. You can even filter based on type, topics, key concepts, sources, and even a number of nodes. This will give a hidden connection information. For example, LLM training and training and LLM inference are connected by KV cache. And neuroscience and CUDA programming are connected by flash retention. Coming to the source view, here you can see an 3D view of all the sources that you have added so far. So this helps to find the closest sources for a particular topic. You can filter by topics, you can filter by source, you can filter by key concepts. And in the chat view, you can talk to multiple topics. For example, here, this is one of the chat where I asked the relation between LLM inference and CUDA programming. And once you think a particular response is useful, you can even save it to wikis. And if you think there is some problem, you can give feedback. And in the dashboard view, you can see the summary of your entire vault. You can see the progress, next actions, the model usage. So in model usage, you have 3 options. You can even see model usage by provider, by particular model, by even a task. In the source breakdown, you can see the distribution of sources across the topics. And these are some quick to-dos that you can do. You can go through the sources, you can go through the wikis. And in the knowledge status, you can see a GitHub type view of your activity. It will show a heat map of whatever sources you have added throughout your learning phase. And finally, in the topic health, you can see which topic is being read frequently, which topic needs attention, which topic has more sources, all the information. And in the activity bar is where you see all the notifications. For example, if you run a summarization or text-to-speech or even a compilation or knowledge graph building, you can see the notification here. So you can track the progress of all the tasks that you are running currently. For example, in wiki compilation, you can see the list of sources that are being used to compile and all the wikis that are created. And in the canvas, this is a Excalidraw view where you can draw, write notes, and this is not linked to any particular topic. So here is where you can write your information and learn things. And there is a browser view where you can open a particular source instead of you going through other web browsers. So here you can select some text and add it to chat and ask AI to explain it well. If you think you can filter based on the type of your history of chat, you can even have a focus view. You can bookmark it. You also have a zoom option, the basic browser options. And coming to monitoring, where instead of you looking for new topics, you can go to settings, and in the monitoring, you can turn on monitoring for a particular source. You can add list of keywords by default, we can sync the key concepts that we have discovered so far for a particular topic. When you click on check now, it will check archive, web, and Twitter to find new sources for a particular topic. And if you think the particular source that it discovered is useful, you can click on keep ingest and ingest to inbox based on the quick abstract that you can see from the discovered source. And you can even discard if you think they are not useful. In the settings, you have the typical API settings where you can edit and update APIs. You can select model for different tasks. You can select different model for different tasks like summarization, compilation, chat, browser chat assistant, and embeddings. So currently we use SBERT for embeddings, which runs locally without any API cost, and Kokoro model for text-to-speech, which is a powerful model which can run on any CPU. You can even, instead of you manually clicking on consolidation, you have an auto compilation option where we search online. We compile the sources into wikis, and you can schedule any source based on the frequency you want to set it to. The same goes for monitoring. So you can have a custom schedule for different sources. And in the chat and summarization, where you have a feedback option, all the feedback is being added here. So whenever the agent is doing some task, it will go through the instructions and follows those instructions. You can add custom instructions, or you can even delete if you don't want to. And finally, we have an assistant where you can ask like the entire overview of the vault. For example, if you want to know the overview of the vault, you want to know what sources, how many topics. So it will call the functions which are appropriate, and it will give a quick summary of whatever you asked. For example, if I've asked about my vault, it will say what are the topics, how many sources, how many wikis, how many concepts, and so on. And to conclude, Trisynapse has been very useful for me to learn and track whatever I have been learning, and I hope Trisynapse will help you. Thank you.